Well, I pushed the 37 outside yesterday, put the 40 pickup in there so I can get some work done on the 40. But before I put the 40 in there, I put the Mustang in there and did a compression test on it because it's running really bad. And what I found out was the number one cylinder over here has no compression whatsoever. So I don't know whether I got a bad valve or I got a hole in the piston. If it's the piston, I got to pull the whole engine. If it's just the valve, I can take off the head. But I haven't got time to do any of that right now, so I'll get to it later. Also, while I had the garage free, I put the lawnmower up on the lift so I could hook up a cable to actually get the thing to cut grass. So then I went and cut the lawn. Didn't get anything done on the 40. So I got the 40 up on the lift. Put some blocks under the front here so I could get a jack underneath it. And jacked up the floor until it lined up with the floorboard. Now, it's not its final resting place. I still got to go up higher to close this gap. But when I went up higher, it lifted the back end of the patch up. This came up, so I let the jack down until this settled back into place. So I'm gonna weld around this part of it and then finish jacking it up until I can close this gap and then weld this. And once I get it up there, I gotta clamp it to this. And I hope everything comes out right, but it seems like it's in the right place now, so I'm gonna get some welding done. Well, there, I got the doorpost welded down to the floor. I've got the floor welded in all the way across there and all the way up there. And now, this floor is level with where it broke off, so I can put a piece of angle iron in here to finish the job. And this is my air conditioner here. It's 80 something degrees out here now, so this isn't fun anymore. It looks to me like it's sagging towards the middle. That way before I weld that side, I'm gonna jack the floor up here. And before I weld that and that, I'm gonna try to raise that up a little bit and then weld in this corner bracket. And once that is done, I'm gonna weld this panel on here that I bought to go on this side. As long as everything is in place on this side, I'm gonna do that. Also, I noticed this here is sagging out a bit. I'm gonna have to move the jack down here, push that back up a little more. But for right now, I'm doing fine. Well, what I gotta do now is weld a piece in here. As you can see, there's a piece missing here. I think it's got to come down about to here and have an angle to it so I could attach this to this and maybe even add a little piece here for extra strength. And I think I may cut this off and replace this whole bottom half of this thing because it looks pretty flimsy to be welding to. But to determine where the bottom of this is supposed to be, I've got this here, patch here. And I gotta notch it out for the hinge, and I also have a problem with this in here, so I've got to cut down and across and get that to fit a little bit better. Before I make this piece. Well, there's that piece anyway. I got that in place, got it welded pretty solid here and here, and that that cord from the patch panel comes up to here. See, I trimmed all this extra stuff off of here where it overlapped, and the new one's going to overlap onto this if all goes well, according to plan. Now currently, I'm trying to get this all apart here. And find all the braces to weld this new panel on. And so I think this piece here is supposed to have a lip on it to weld to. You see a few places where it was welded, but it's pretty rotten, so I'm going to have to replace this whole piece here. Maybe I can grind away at this stuff so that, and you know, another thing is, if you can see over here, there's a space here between the lip. So I got to cut that off there so that I can get it back far enough to hook into place over here. So I'm going to start grinding and cutting and see if I can find some piece of steel to replace this with. Yeah, so I don't know if you could see on the dark side there when I tried to show you, but this is the lip that I'm talking about that has to come off. So the other piece can slide back into place there and line up with this, and then it'll line up with that. And this hole here, I'm using this for an alignment to bolt on that hole there. And once I get everything lined up right, I'm going to mark it where I want to cut it and cut this hole off and throw it away and across here somewhere. So, standing too close, you can't see the big picture. There it is. There's the truck. Piece is missing. A rather large piece missing. And I got to get back to cutting and grinding and removing and adding and welding. Well, the panel's on there. It fits pretty good. I got to put a clamp here when I weld it. But it lines up good here. Maybe another little cut there. And looks like the door's scraping, so I don't know if I can push that in a little further. Maybe trim that bottom piece a little so I can get the bottom to go in a bit. So now I'm not sure. This is coming in so close. I'm not sure if I want to cut it and butt weld it or just leave that overlap. Well, I still haven't made that bottom piece yet, so I got to take this panel off. Well, this is my replacement patch here. It's going to go in here and weld to that. Something like that. However, I ran out of acetylene, so I can't weld it in today. So I'm going to have to call it quits for the day, and I'll get back to it tomorrow after I get some gas. Okay, so I cut the last piece out, and we'll get rid of that. Now, I didn't show you when I stripped all of this stuff off down here and across there, so I'll show you how I do it. I do this on all kinds of quarter panels and whatever. I think I got the right angle on that camera. Cover everything. Okay, so start off with the screwdriver or chisel or whatever it takes to get in there and pry it back. Then take vice grips, and I think I need a better bite. And grab that, and using the vice grips for leverage. Seem to be working now. tight. And there. Now, when it gets to that point, take the grips and cut that. Then you can bring it down to the next rivet. Spot weld. Get rid of some of the excess. Need to get a better grip. Tighten it up with half a turn. There we go. Get down to there. And go for the next one. That one's right on the edge. Didn't even have to cut that one. Whoops. And then take the grinder . do it. That I just strip off the extra piece, and now I got to put it all together and start welding. Oh, but first, got to drill some holes through the back. Barely see those 2 lines, but somewhere in around here, maybe even back there, I got to cut some holes to weld it to the floor brace, and then I can clamp it and weld it, and hopefully everything fits together nicely. Well, there it is, kind of spot welded in. I clamped it. It'll come up against the other piece of metal, and then I'll weld the hole up. I got a couple done already. Butt welded it here. This doesn't line up right, so I'm going to have to pull this out. I can't find those Eastwood welding thingies that I bought, so they're not where I left them. I think Richard might have borrowed them, or either that or I lost them. So anyways, I'm going to call that it for this video. I'm going to put the other side on, but I don't think I'll bother you with the details since you already see how it's done on this side. And let's see, the door kind of fits. Looks like I gotta pry that thing over a little bit here, but I'll make it work. The door doesn't want to stay closed now. What's in the way? I don't know. Something's in the way. There. Now it still lines up, so I'm happy. Now I get the other side done, and then I can cut out the braces and cut out the excess floorboards, the rusty part. So I'm gonna go put this up on YouTube for everybody. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I gotta have more subscribers. I'm in competition with Bad Chad, and he's got 36,000, I think, or something like that, maybe 37. And I've only got 355, so I've got a ways to go. I got, what, 10%? 1%, I guess it is, of what he's got, so there's room for improvement there. So let's hit those subscribe buttons.